Walking down these empty streets, echoes of the past I meet. Lost and wandering for so long, searching for where I belong. Sunrise breaking through the night, guiding me back to the light. Every step feels like a prayer, promises hang in the air. Come back home, heal your heart, where the love never parts. Come back home, find your peace. In this place, your pain will cease. Memories of laughter and tears, answers to my deepest fears. In these walls I find my truth, washing away the years. Ruth, oh, the road was long and rough, but my spirit's had enough. Here in the sanctuary, healing feels extraordinary. Come back home, heal your heart, where the love never parts. Come back home, find your peace. In this place, your pain will cease.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good Tuesday morning. Good Tuesday morning. How is everybody doing today? Let me check. I don't want to just go to the show. I do have a half-hour show, y'all. Have a half-hour show this morning. I got to get baby girl to school. So, I want to talk about quitting this morning. That's what I want to do. I want to talk about quitting. Let me make sure you guys can hear me. I think you can hear me. I want to talk about quitting today. That's what I want to talk about. I've been up since about 3 o'clock, right? And I've been pondering. Let me see who's in the chat. Let me see. How's everybody doing? Tell me how you're doing this morning. Let me hear how everybody's feeling. What's on your mind? What's on your heart? Let me hear what's going on. Let me get myself together here. I'm sorry, everybody. Let me check the chat. Let me see who's in the building this morning. Good morning, Philly. Good morning, Ron. I'm tired too, bro. I've been up since 3 something. And, usually I feel so inspired, man, to teach. I felt no inspiration today. No inspiration. In fact, I was thinking about a couple concepts this morning about mastering discouragement. I feel really discouraged this morning. I don't know quite what it is. I can't tie it to a particular thing, but I think this is, sometimes you just got to sit back and just feel. What's up, Zay? Good morning, my brother. Good morning. Sometimes, man, I'm learning this, man. I'm not going to have any notes or anything today. I think sometimes you just gotta pause and be okay with how you feeling. There you go. Sometimes you gotta pause and be okay with how you feeling and know that it's not bad to be tired. And I think as men, you got to know it's not bad to be tired, man. You got to know it's not bad to be fatigued. You got to know it's not bad. Let me just encourage you from my fatigue and my that's the best thing I can do. If I could write a book while I'm homeless, I can encourage y'all while I'm tired. And I think sometimes you gotta embrace when you're not feeling like a giant. And you know what? Maybe that's when you are a giant. Maybe that's when you are a giant. Good morning, everybody coming in. Good morning. Right? Maybe that's when you are a giant. When you can admit when you're not. Right? Maybe that's the key. Maybe the key is to say, you know what, I don't got it today. And I think the world doesn't let us do that. The world doesn't let us do that. Good morning, Evangelist Meham, all the way from Pakistan. Good morning, my brother. Um, you know, you gotta know that you're still you when you don't feel like you. Right? There's two sides of every mountain. Right? There's two sides of every mountain. There's a part you climb, there's a part you come down. There's two sides, right? And that's what makes the mountain. I think that's the thing. That's what makes the mountain. The mountain is made with both sides connected. Sometimes up, sometimes down, right? But that's when I think that's when, like this morning, I had to really, I don't know, y'all. I know y'all like, man, what is this dude talking about? Listen, this is just where I'm at. This is where I'm at this morning. It's not a depression. I think it's just a fatigue. And I think sometimes for guys like me and maybe some guys like y'all, you're just not used to feeling fatigued. I'm talking about fatigued in your mind. Fatigued in your soul when you get tired inwardly. And I think, like, what do you do? What do you do when you're there? Some people would say, man, fight your way out. But fighting makes you more tired. I wonder sometimes when you is the key not to fight? Y'all see my electric blanket? Maybe the key is not to fight. Maybe the key is to embrace and be okay with knowing that this is part of your life. Right? It's part of your life to feel discouraged. It's part of your life to not always feel like you're winning. So let me just encourage y'all from my place of struggle this morning, And God knows, I hope the rest of my day don't feel like this, but maybe I can lift somebody up, man. Oh, maybe, see, it's not just me. It's not just me. Maybe it's just this morning, man. Let me see. Let me look in this chat. Oh, God, this podcast is going to suck this morning. Let me see. You're hitting your stride. You're in your pocket. Mental exercise. Drive on, soldier. I am, bro. I got to. E, I'm going to keep driving, brother. I'm going to keep driving, man. But what if I put it in part? Are we less than men if we put it in part? Are we? Are we less than men if we put it in part? If we keep it running, because that's a good point, E. Drive on, right? But even as a military man, E, let me ask you, is it okay to sit there? What do you do? What do you do when is it okay to sit there and with the car running? You still in it? You ain't get out. Right? Are you winning if you just sitting? Or did the world create this concept where we got to keep on drive and push forward? What happens? What happens? See? What happens? Do you got to pause? You got to pause. And you got to know that there's nothing wrong with a pause. Right? Like, this is a pause this morning. Usually I'm on here. I done wrote my show. I done, But this is the thing. I did my first show July 20-something, right? And I've been podcasting every single day. Every morning, y'all have a show every morning. And I podcast and I run. This is the thing. Sometimes you forget everything you're involved in. Some of y'all know I run the Dear Sister podcast. I run the Christian Activist podcast. I'm running 3 different podcasts, and I'm tired, yo. So what did we learn this morning? Tired is part of the journey. Tired is not a disability. There you go. Now we got a show. That's a damn good book. Woo! See, even on the roughest days, man, God will show up. Y'all seen him just show up? Right? Dang, what did I just say? Y'all tell me what I just said, y'all. Tell me what I just said. Oh God, what's the point I just made? Oh, fatigue. For there you go. That's I'm gonna write. I'm gonna write something on that. Fatigue is not a disability. Fatigue is not a disability. It's part of your journey, man. It's part of it. Let me see. Let me see. And you know what? Let me go back to this E. You know what? I believe I'm hitting my stride. I believe I'm hitting my stride. But you know, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I'm gonna see, we can't teach vulnerability and not be vulnerable, right? I'm gonna tell y'all this morning, I was like, man, I'm just gonna quit, bro. And I don't know what. It's not like, okay, I'm gonna quit the podcast. I don't know what. It was just like, yo, I'm just gonna quit, yo. That I said that out of my mouth this morning. And maybe it's just being daggone tired, man. But see, tired is not, damn, that's good, man. Tired is not a disability. Let me see. Good morning, Jess Clark. Jess, you tired too? Okay. So I'm not the only one, but I think I'm tired here, y'all. I think I gotta like take a day off or something. I gotta like take a break, man. I'm raising 4 kids, y'all. See, let's really get into it. Let's talk, man. I got a 20-year-old son. See, this is the thing about like when we do this podcast and stuff. It's like y'all we see one lifestyle, right? Y'all see the podcast and the teacher and stuff. But I got a 20-year-old son who's in his second year of college, right? And he's doing hella good, man. I'm crazy proud of him. But you know, tuition got to be paid, and taking care of my boy and making sure that he's sound right here, 20, up on the campus by himself, making sure he's tight. I got 2 18-year-old girls. I got twin 18-year-old girls, right? My twins, right? My babies, right? I got them, and they're ready to graduate. You know, they're ready to do their thing. They're graduating this year, right? And then I got my 7-year-old, you know? So I got these kids. I'm a dad. I'm a leader. And I'm going to tell y'all, yo, I've been doing this a long time, man. I've been teaching a long time. I was teaching before I knew what to teach. Yo, you know what my first teaching was? When I was 14, and some lady invited me to come. What up, Bearded? What up, Bearded? What up, brother? My man. Yo, I enjoyed your show the other day, bro. I checked you out, man. Great show, bro. I started teaching at 14, and I remember I didn't know what to teach, right? So the movie out then was like it's The Lion King. Y'all remember The Lion King? And so like that's all I knew, but I was a teacher. It was a lot of responsibility on me, you know, as a 14-year-old boy, 15, 16, people wanted me to like be like a grown man because I was the teacher. You know, I was traveling, teaching, and it would be like, imagine this, y'all. You 14, 15. I just want to talk to y'all. Let me introduce Christian to y'all, right? Because y'all see my gift, but let me just talk to y'all, right? I started very young, right? And so being very young, I never got to know myself, right? All I knew was like serving people, how to serve people, right? What to do, how to serve people. And as a kid, think about this, as a kid, you're not even developed in your mind. You're not even developed for yourself. And you got grown people like, man, teach me. What do you think about this? I mean, what opinion does a 15-year-old have? Like, it wasn't me. All I ever had was my gift. You know, that's all I ever had was my gift. And as you go through life, I was teaching throughout high school, traveling throughout high school, teaching in college, traveling in college. I started pastoring in college, you know, man. And, you know, like at 44, like this is a long journey. I've been around the world, y'all. I've taught in India, in Africa, in Israel, man, Australia, Germany. I've been all around the world. And I think the person y'all are meeting the guy who's like, I just want to get back to myself. You know, I don't want to be I don't want to be like a hero. I don't want to be anything. Like, you know, you get tired of being stuff. You know, you just get tired of being stuff, you know? And I think as a, you know, this is the man part. This is the part I want y'all to feel. As a dad and all the things we got to do, man, sometimes you got to embrace and know that, like Zay just picked up, tired is not a disability. I'm tired, man. And I want to let y'all know it's okay to be tired. It's okay. Let me see. The way I deal with those moments, I have reflection of what accomplishment I have reached and right and hit that goal because it's time to level up. I feel you, E. I feel you, bro. Man, I just I feel you. I feel you, bro. I do. Let me see. Jess Clark in the building. Take your time. There you go. There you go. Sometimes that's what we got to do. When you've been doing it as long, I mean, think about this, y'all. I've been doing this for 30 years and I'm 44. 30 years. I'm 44. I've been teaching for 30 years. And you know, I think I'm making a mistake, y'all. I think I'm making a mistake. I do. I think the mistake I'm making is trying to figure out what else I should be. Who else I should feed. You know, sometimes I think perhaps I should sit back, man. Maybe I should sit back and think about life. Think about myself. You know, that's the biggest lesson I think for all of us, especially you brothers, man. Maybe it's times where you just sit back. You know, my daughter said something to me, my baby said something to me yesterday. She said, "Daddy, I'm so bored." And this is what she said. She said, I said, "Come on, mama, you gotta go take a bath. You know, you gotta take a bath before you lay down." She says, "Daddy, I don't want to take a bath." I said, "Why?" She said, because it's boring in the bathroom. There's no sound, there's no noise, there's no music. It's just silence. And you know, I went and I hugged her. I grabbed her head, I kissed her forehead, and I hugged her. And I said, "You know what, baby? Sometimes silence is okay. Sometimes silence is okay." And you know, damn, that lesson is strong. It's right now, silence is okay. Maybe we're overstimulated. Maybe we're overstimulated with what we got to do and what we got to accomplish. Maybe we're overstimulated. And maybe sometimes the greatest visions just come as we stop. Y'all feel that? Maybe the greatest stuff comes as it comes to us while we're trying to pursue it. And maybe, you know, we sow so much in the ground, you know, to grow. Sometimes I wonder if we should just sit back and wait for the things we've already planted. You know, because it's like a gardener. Or if I used to garden after I got my kidney transplant, I would garden. And you know, I go out there and watch them seeds, and I was so excited when something would come out the ground. You know, but you know, when you plant that seed, you got to wait for it to come. And sometimes maybe it's me and maybe it's some of y'all too. Sometimes if you get tired of waiting for something to come, you plant something else, hoping it will grow. And in reality, you got to wait for your seeds to grow. My son, I just told you, my boy is 20, but I remember taking him to daycare. I'll never forget this. I've taken him to daycare when he was little. He was like 4. And I was driving. You know, if he was 4, that means I was, let me see. Yeah, I was like 26 maybe. And I was driving. I was stressed out. I was pastoring 2 churches at the time. I had one in Philadelphia and one in Allentown, PA. And I'm stressed out how these things are going to work. And everything's going well, but I'm a builder. So I'm always thinking about building, you know. And my son said, just out the clear blue, sitting in his car seat, he said, "Dad, you got to wait for all your eggs to," what did he say? "You got to wait for all your eggs to hatch. You got to wait for all your eggs to hatch." And just out of nowhere. And it like, you got to wait. Damn, you got to wait. That's the hardest thing, man. That's the hardest thing when you're driven. is to wait. It's the hardest thing when you got passion is to wait. It's the hardest thing when you want to build something is to wait. It's the hardest thing. And maybe we're driving to make things happen when we should just be waiting for them to happen. Let me see. Ron McGee, let me see. Every highway has rest stops. You daggone right, Ron. You right. Every highway has rest stops. You know, and you know what we do, Ron? When we trying to get somewhere, we ignore them rest stops. But you know, you ask yourself, where you going? Where you going? In life, when you blow them, when you blow past those rest stops, man, I guess the question you got to ask yourself is, where you going? Because one thing I learned, man, is the only thing you can do fast is crash. The only thing you can do fast is crash. That's a good point, man. Facts, Ron. Facts. Yes, absolutely. Let me see. Let me talk. Let me get in here. Tired is not a disability. I'm gonna write an ebook on that, bro. I'm gonna start that. See, there I am talking about rest. See, this is the mind of an ambition. You gotta stop yourself. I'm sitting here saying how tired I am and how much I gotta rest, and now I'm talking about, man, maybe I should write an ebook today. I am gonna write that book though. Tired is not a disability. I gotta write that book. My goodness. My man Beard, let me see. Crazy. I got 18-year-old twin boys and a 20-year-old daughter. See, you know what time it is. You know my life, right? All praises due, my brother. Absolutely. Let me see. Yes. The journey blessed me with wisdom. You right. It did, bro. It did. You right. You right, bro. It did. Let me see. Good morning, bro. Was on YouTube watching you preach at Embassy. You were? Oh man, that was a guy. I gotta look that up. Is that's still on? That's still online? You know what? Inbox me that clip. I would like to see that clip. I was in Dallas. That was a good time. Let me see. Or you can continue. Let me see. Let me see. Beardy said, "This is what you're here for." Oh, woo. Yeah, we know. Yeah, man. We even see, and that's the thing. That's the thing, Bearded. You know who you are. You know who you are. It just gets difficult. Absolutely. And I think we got to be okay with that. That's the thing. I think we got to learn. We got to be okay that it's difficult. We got to be okay that things fall apart. We got to be okay that because guess what? Just as much as things good happening, is, you're being pruned by other things. It all works together. We can't just take the good part. You can't just take the good part. You can't just take the good part, right? Sometimes selfishness saves sanity. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Right. But see, I think it's almost and this sounds crazy to say, some people some of y'all and me, you gotta develop what selfishness means. Because again, I started giving at 14, y'all. Oh, man, I got 5 minutes. Oh, man, this is one of the best, weirdest shows ever. I hope y'all come back tomorrow. But sometimes you got to learn to be selfish. See, when you start at 14, man, I'm telling you, I've been on some adult tips since I was 14, man. I got married at 21, man. Start having kids. I was living this boom, 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 boom. And I think even as a leader, I was leading people that were my age and older than me. So imagine that. Now you being a father to they 18 and you 18, but they see you as a father. They're 22, you're 22, but they see you as a father. You see, that's a lot of pressure. And I think for me, I think I've never embraced it. I need to after 30 years, maybe I need to sit down and just look back over my life instead of trying to make something shake for other people. Right? Now, don't get scared, y'all. I'm not going to stop my podcast. It's not like I'm going to quit my podcast. But maybe I should start approaching my podcast more like this. Right? Maybe I don't have to be a roaring lion. Maybe I could just be a talking brother. Let me see. The blessing is in your tongue. For that, you matter. It's great. that you share your testimony with us, because we're learning about. Absolutely, bro. You'll never see me on here being a fraud. Yeah, I appreciate you saying that, because listen, y'all listen. The world is full of fraudulent leaders, man. I'm gonna give y'all me every time, man. Even days like this, I'm gonna give y'all me. Let me see. We're absolutely overstimulated. Nothing wrong with being bored. It allows you to think. That's exactly what I was telling my baby girl. Now at 7, she can't understand it, but I hope that she embraces that. Embraces that lesson. Nothing wrong with being bored. When you have time to think, you have time to be creative. Boredom isn't bad. No. Boredom becomes walls around you that keep you from all the noise. You're right, Ron. Great point. Let me see. Philly in the building. You pour into so many people. Who is pouring into you? Are you allowing people to pour? No. No, I don't. And it's not because I don't want people to pour. It's just that, like, for example, I don't know who I was talking to. Somebody kept on asking me, like, for my Cash App, right? They were like, yo, what's your Cash App? I want to be a blessing to you. Like, what's your Cash App? I want to be a blessing to you. And we were having like 2 separate conversations in one conversation. So I'm talking to them about, like, ministry, and look, this is what you should do, man. Move this way and shake this way. You know what I mean? Get it, And they're like, yo, what's your Cash App? I'm like, yo, so this is what you do. And I'm intentionally ignoring them asking me for my Cash App. Because I'm such a giver that I'm so focused on what they need to the point where I'm ignoring my own need, right? It's not that I ain't need money, right? Me feeding y'all every day, it costs. It costs me to run all this. It costs me to run. That's why I'm always blessed when somebody sends a Cash App. When somebody blesses me, because this is not free. I do this full time, right? I feed people full time on 3 podcasts. I'm giving my life to women every day, to men every day, to Christians every day. I'm strengthening people everywhere, right? And so it's not free. But see how I'm thinking? I'm saying that now, but when somebody says, look, I want to bless you, I'm like, because I don't know. I've developed such a, again, when you start at 14 and your life has been giving, nobody taught me how to receive, right? And some of you are the same way. Nobody taught me how to receive. That's why I can't take nothing from nobody. I remember when I got my kidney transplant, the sister called me from New York. And she said, look, man, I'm going to give you a kidney. And I'm like, yo, you got a match. You can't just give me a kidney. You got a match. She was like, I'm going to match. I'm going to give you a kidney. And I'm like, yeah, no. Here I am dying on dialysis, y'all, saying no to somebody that's trying to give me a kidney. Because I'm like, man, I don't know how to, like, take a quarter from somebody. Now you asking me to take an organ? Right? So maybe at this point in my life, and maybe at this point in some of y'all life, maybe you need to learn how to receive. I feel bad sometimes receiving, because again, nobody taught me. See, that's the thing about childhood. People just teach you how to give, be. And when nobody teaches you how to receive and that it's okay to be blessed, then you don't know. You don't know how to do it. And I'm thinking that may be my issue. So yeah, I got to work on that, Philly. You're right. I got to work on that. I'm going to, bro. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to go slower, though. That's the thing. I'm going to keep going, but I got to walk a little slower because I'm tired here. And I think this is a good place. It's not a bad place where I'm at. I think I'm learning that I gotta pause and receive. I'm learning while I'm teaching y'all. Let me see. I heard you shouldn't be bored as an adult. Nah, man, shoot, as an adult, you looking for spots to just chill. Let me see. Bearded, if you are stopping your growth, let me see. Not my words. Let me see. We get taught the minimal as children. We do. We get taught and you know what? You're right, Bearded. We get taught to keep driving, keep going. We don't get taught, right? We get taught very little about ourselves. We get taught how to navigate the world. And I understand it in our culture, we have to learn to navigate the world. And I think a lot of times the mistake our parents make is they don't teach us ourselves. They teach us how to survive. They teach us how to make it. And I don't blame that generation. They knew when you got this right here, you got to be able to make it in this world. You got to have your head on the swivel. I get that. And the thing is, I don't think a lot of times they taught us. So we can deal with running into world issues, but we can't deal with running into us issues. Because of that, because they taught us, they prepared us to survive, but they didn't teach us inwardly. And I think that's why a lot of times the battle and for children is to thrive, because we've been taught how to survive. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we get taught minimal. We get taught very minimal about ourselves. I'm telling you, we don't know who we are, or sometimes what we're made of. I agree. All right, y'all, I'm past my time, man. Thank you for this is the weirdest show ever. I think it was like it was a blessing to me, man. Thank y'all. Y'all are my community. And as much as I feed y'all have fed me today. And I hope that I fed you too. I hope it was an exchange. And if it was just y'all feeding me, I'm okay with that too. Because I've been feeding since July. And this morning was this was a good morning. I mean, I'm sitting there preparing the show, trying to get ready for the show, and I'm like, man, this is horrible. I'm gonna tell y'all, before I hit the live button, I'm sitting here like this. I'm serious. While the thing was counting down, I'm sitting here peeking at the numbers through my fingers, like, oh my God, I gotta go in front of these people. What in the world am I gonna say? But you know what? This is our community, man. And this is what you do in community. And men, if you learn anything today, learn this. You learn what vulnerability looks like. I'll practice it in front of you because I'm not ashamed to be vulnerable. And I want you to be this vulnerable. When times get rough, I want you to be this vulnerable. When you can't figure stuff out, I want you to be this vulnerable. Right? Because that's when you find the depth of your manhood. You don't find it on the mountaintop when people's applauding you. You got to find it when you have nothing and you can't even applaud you. You got to love you. You got to love you enough to stop. You got to love you enough to pause. You got to love you enough to learn lessons that you never sat down and learned. I'm just teaching from my own little spot, this bump in the road. But maybe this is not a bump in the road. Maybe it's a shot in a new direction of loving me enough. Right? Maybe that's it. Let me see. We're taught to survive, which makes us comfortable with being complacent. Absolutely. Let me see. I'll be the same. Yeah, see, this is what I'm saying. It's a human thing. And that's another thing I think we need to know too. When we're feeling like this, the enemy wants to tell us real quick, that's just you. And the fact is, it's a lot of people facing fatigue. It's just fatigue, and we got to embrace it. I'm hanging in there, Philly. All right, y'all. Let me tell you, I appreciate y'all. The show was amazingly vulnerable and great. You matter to me. I matter to me. I matter to you. You matter to me. So I'm going to say this to y'all. Like we always say it with me, y'all. Yesterday is history and tomorrow is a mystery. We got right now. What we going to do with it? You're amazing people. Have a brilliant day because you're brilliant people. And I love you deeply. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.